But somehow, as I was leaving Chang'an, a single tear rolled down my face. Goodbye, my lord. It wasn't even October yet, but up north winter had already arrived. The wind cut straight through you. The journey took way longer than expected, 2 whole months of bumpy roads. By the time I arrived, my baby bump was showing. In public, I played the role of a wealthy widow whose husband died in the war. First thing I did when I got there, bought a manor house. Then hired a whole team of bodyguards to keep me safe. I was genuinely scared. Like, what if bandits from the mountain came raiding one night? The travel had wiped me out, so I rested for a while before hiring maids and chaperones. I'm a simple person. I like peace and quiet, and food. Mostly food. So obviously I hired several cooks to make meals at home. Money isn't everything, but without it, you've got nothing. I wasn't about to burn through my savings, so I didn't just sit on my wealth. I invested in rice shops and fabric stores across the north. Small businesses. Enough to get by just fine. Ever since I became a concubine in the manor, I'd cut off everyone I used to know. Every last connection, gone. I didn't go back to my hometown either. There was no one left there I cared about. No point going back, and besides, if Fu Yunzheng ever had a sudden conscience and started looking for me, that'd be the first place he'd check. So I went alone, all the way to this frozen land in the north. The people here were genuine, warm-hearted, and free-spirited. Summers were amazing. It felt right. A good place to raise a kid, even if things weren't perfect. If everything went well, I planned to put down roots here for good. And when my time came, just find a hillside and bury me there. 4 years later, in August, I gave birth to my baby right here on this land. Honestly, during labor, I genuinely thought I wasn't going to make it. Thank God the midwife knew what she was doing, and somehow Xiao Dezi tracked down a 1,000-year-old ginseng root. A few slices of that literally saved my life. When the baby finally came out, Xiao Dezi peered into the cradle at that tiny, wrinkly little thing, and frowned. Why does this kid look so rough? He doesn't look like you at all. Babies are supposed to look more like their moms, not even close. Look at you, all fair and pretty. Now look at him. I was way too exhausted after giving birth to roast him. I just shot him a look. If you know how to take care of a baby, great. Keep watching. If not, go get the wet nurse now. Get out of my face. Speaking of Xiao Dezi, poor guy had a rough story. I just arrived up north when he showed up, exiled here, barely clinging to life. I took him in and had our head bodyguard train him in martial arts. Somehow he bounced back completely. Later, our bodyguard told me. The guy used to be a eunuch in the Imperial Palace. I was shook. But then I thought about it. Having a highly skilled fighter by my side? Yeah, that works out perfectly. Xiao Dezi found me a really reliable wet nurse. And the baby grew up strong and healthy with us all looking after him. One day, Xiao Dezi brought it up. We can't keep calling the kid Babe forever. He needs a real name. I thought about it. The imperial family name was Fu. His father's name was Fu Yunzheng. And I was Shen Qinghuan, so let's name him Fu Jingxing. I wanted him to thrive forever. Resilient, like a pine tree that never gives up. Looking at that little boy sleeping soundly in his cradle, my eyes got a little wet. For the first time in my life, I wasn't alone in this world. Having someone who shared my blood, life finally felt full. When Jingxing reached the age to start his education, I was stressing out hard. I could manage a household and run a business, but book learning? That was genuinely not my strong suit. Xiao Dezi was great about training Jingxing in martial arts every day, but literacy was a whole other problem. Word was, there was a brilliant scholar up north giving incredible lectures. I was intrigued. I asked around in my circle of wealthy ladies. They all confirmed, the guy was legendary. He'd even founded his own academy in town, the White Horse Academy. The moment I heard that, I took Jingxing straight over to meet him. This scholar was wild and unconventional, but back in his prime, he'd personally tutored Fu Yunzheng and the other princes. He was basically the top guy at the Imperial Academy. Nobody knew why. He ended up out here in the frozen north. I pulled every string I had, and finally got Jingxing a spot at the White Horse Academy. The next time I heard anything about Fu Yunzheng was not long after Jingxing started school. The old emperor had been sick with worry and collapsed in the throne room. The succession war had officially begun. Fu Yunzheng and his brothers were going at each other's throats. In the end, he came out on top. Fu Yunzheng was now the crown prince. By the time the news reached us, he was already preparing for the official coronation ceremony. As his former teacher, the scholar, naturally received an invitation from the palace, and Fu Yunzheng wanted him to come out of retirement and rejoin his inner circle to help run the country. I kept staring at the portraits and illustrated books sent from Chang'an. My heart would not stop racing, because Jingxing looked way too much like Fu Yunzheng. If he got any older, people would definitely start connecting the dots. Meanwhile, the scholar thought it over, and decided he wanted to bring a few of his best students with him to Chang'an to see the world. Jingxing, being his star pupil, was obviously on the list. My heart sank, but I couldn't exactly turn down the scholar's invitation. So I started packing his bags for the capital trip. This departure, who knows when he'd be back. Baby, listen to me. When you get to Chang'an, do not wander off on your own. That place is cutthroat. One wrong move and you could get snatched up. These are people we can't mess with. Do not get mixed up with any of them. Whatever the scholar tells you to do, you do it. Don't leave his side. Those people are dangerous. Mom, relax. The scholar already briefed us. Chang'an is nothing like up here. Way more strict. Everyone follows the rules down there. I'll behave. I don't want to embarrass him. I nodded. I agreed with everything the scholar said, even though it was killing me inside. I knew the scholar was doing this for Jingxing's own good. With how smart Jingxing was, he could totally pass the imperial exams one day, as long as he stayed close to the scholar. His future would be bright. But deep down, I was still terrified. What if the newly crowned Crown Prince Fu Yunzheng caught a glimpse of that familiar face? That alone could get Jingxing killed. Xiao Dezi, who used to be a palace eunuch in Chang'an after all, looked at Jingxing's increasingly refined features. My lady, don't you think he looks a lot like a certain nobleman back in Chang'an?